sharp decline in international student enrollment signals trouble for U.S. higher education. A significant downturn in the number of international students enrolling in U.S. colleges and universities during the 2024-25 academic year could have lasting effects on the nation's economy, research capacity, and global educational standing. A fresh analysis of visa records from the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, SEVIS, indicates a steep drop in international student enrollments in the United States between March 2024 and March 2025. This downturn is particularly pronounced among students from India and those entering master's-level programs, raising alarms within the higher education sector. Despite the Institute of International Education's (IIE) Fall 2024 snapshot reporting a modest 3% uptick in foreign enrollments at the beginning of the academic year, SEVIS data reveals an overall 11% year-on-year decline by March 2025. This analysis, conducted by Boston College professor and international education expert Chris Glass, suggests a potential economic hit of up to $4 billion, factoring in diminished tuition payments and living expenses. For context, the COVID-19 pandemic previously triggered a 15% decline in international enrollments, putting this year's figures close to those experienced during a global crisis. Notably, this recent drop occurred before any new policies introduced by the Trump administration could take effect, meaning future enrollment numbers may face additional downward pressure. The decline has affected all program levels, with language and degree courses both impacted. Master's programs have been hit hardest, with a reported 20.5% decrease in international enrollments. Indian students, who are typically drawn to STEM-related graduate programs, account for a 28% drop, reversing years of growth from one of the U.S.'s largest student markets. Bachelor's-level enrollments, by contrast, remained stable. Professor Glass emphasizes that international graduate students are not merely supplementary to U.S. science and research, they are foundational. In critical areas, international students are American scientific infrastructure, he states. Reasons behind the drop. Several systemic issues appear to be fueling the trend. These include increased visa rejection rates, prolonged processing times, financial barriers, and the appeal of alternative study destinations that offer clearer paths to permanent residency. Additionally, growing concern about the treatment of international students in the U.S. may be influencing decision-making abroad. One high-profile case involves Ranjani Srinivasan, a Fulbright scholar and Columbia University student, who had her visa abruptly revoked and was reportedly targeted due to her participation in pro-Palestinian demonstrations. A breakdown of SEVIS data by country further illustrates the scale of the drop. For instance, Brazil, which had grown 5% in 2023-24 according to IIE, saw a 14% decrease by March 2025. Nigeria followed a similar pattern, with a 16% drop despite earlier signs of growth. Potential impact of policy and funding changes. Compounding the enrollment crisis is a proposed travel ban under consideration by the Trump administration. The draft includes 43 countries grouped into restriction tiers, which could significantly curtail future enrollments if enacted. Meanwhile, major cuts to federal funding for science and graduate education are threatening the financial foundation for many international students. The National Science Foundation's budget was slashed from $9 billion to $3 billion, and the National Institutes of Health, NIH, saw a 78% cut. Columbia University alone faces a $650 million funding freeze, partly due to its response to campus protests. These cuts are likely to hit STEM graduate programs particularly hard, where international students make up a substantial proportion of the research workforce. Professor Glass estimates that between 50,000 and 77,000 international students in STEM fields could be affected. A turning point for U.S. higher ed? While the IIE's full report is not due until November, Professor Glass warns that the warning signs are already clear. We're watching real-time data flashing red, he says. If current trends persist, he adds, the United States risks a long-term transformation of its higher education landscape. The shift could result in decreased university revenues, diminished research output, and a weakened role in the global knowledge economy. This isn't a temporary dip, it's a structural realignment. And if we don't act, we may find ourselves unable to recover the ground we've lost.